Welcome everyone to your weekly energy update where we're looking at the week of October 2nd through October 9th. This week we have a lot going on in the planets. October 2nd, we actually have Mercury leaving its full retrograde and going into its post shadow. So yay! It'll be in the post shadow all the way until October 18th when it goes direct. And it is a period of reviewing. Now last week's energy update, we did already talk about the Mercury retrograde and this post-shadow period that's starting to come up. So if you want to find out what you learned around communication during this last Mercury retrograde, check out last week's video because it is going to give you information that'll last through October 18th. We also have October 8th this week. Pluto is joining the post-shadow parade, and that is a planet of like grow or die. It's the death, the rebirth, and it's the energy of transformation, like the phoenix that's rising from the ashes. That's the main energy we're going to look at for this week. Although we also have the next day on October 9th is going to be a full moon in Aries, but we'll cover more of that in next week's energy update since that will be from October 9th through the following Sunday as well. So because we're going to be looking at the Pluto post-shadow energy, Pluto retrograde was a time to reflect on what ended, what burnt down, and now we're starting to make our way up and out of those ashes. And so for this reading, we're going to ask, what does the spirit realm want us to know about our rebirth? What's this new creation that we've become? So, of course, we have readings for each individual zodiac sign, and we're going to jump into yours right now. All right, all you Tauruses, this is your weekly energy update, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Messenger Oracle. And any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below, so if any of them catch your attention and you'd like them for yourself, you know where you can pick those up. Let's give these a little shuffle, and we'll see what Creator and Spirit want you to know about your rebirth, about this creation that you have become through this Pluto retrograde. All right. So for all our Taurians, our Tauruses, what would you like them to know? Okay, this is the one right here. Do you have let two become one? Beautiful card there. Just put that down here. There's good. And let's see what message these bring. It says, share yourself with the one that you love. Be their best friend and let them be yours. Let your trust in each other be unshakable, and your love be strengthened by knowing and accepting each other's perceived flaws and weaknesses, still loving each other despite them. Give yourself completely, trusting that you will not lose your independence or sense of self, but instead become two halves of a stronger, loving whole. No, I personally don't believe in halves. I believe in two solid ones that when they come together, it equals three. Because it's together, the love expands even more. Maybe even 1 + 1 = 4. 1 + 1 = 5. Who knows? But, it's this wholeness, two whole pieces coming together and sharing that, accepting one another unconditionally, and letting that love explode. We'll see what else they want to add into here to see if it's a physical relation between another physical being or if they're looking at oneness with the spiritual realm, which it could be either or both, depending on where you're at in your life. This is a general reading, so it could apply to all three scenarios. So we'll look into these Earth Magic Oracle and see what they would like to add to this. Two becoming one. So let's take a look here. What else would you like our Taurians to know, please? Okay. It's this one right here. And of course, you are ruled by the planet Venus, so this is very much your energy, right? And you have autumn equinox, release. Northern hemisphere, we're moving into autumn equinox. I know southern hemisphere, you're on the opposite. You're entering spring now. So let's take a look and see what this brings in. So in many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth in order to maintain robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the trees make, at least not in the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of trees' leaves. How remarkable it is that these trees, and for that matter, all of Earth's mother's children, simply know what to do with the changes in climate. Although this seasonal shift appears to be a death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contraction of winter as an aspect of the life-death rebirth cycle that we find represented in so many different ways. Death and rebirth of Pluto, right? It says, now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest while at the same time making preparations for the winter season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. With release comes a sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that openly bare their nakedness once their leaves have departed and give room for whatever new life is ready to birth following a period of quiet and gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else will take its place. And I thought that's where this was headed, because this is about letting old relationships, old emotions, old things in your life fall away that no longer serve you, because you do have this oneness, this other newer thing to come into your life that's going to take it to a new level. Now, this also can represent like you're ready to let the old way of a relationship go to take it to a different level as well. I mean, of course, it could mean you're leaving a relationship, but it also can mean that you're leaving the old ways of thinking about your relationship behind because you're ready to take it to a different place, right? So also are going to pull some cards here from the Runic Tarot and just see what else they would like you to know. All right. Let's give these a shuffle and let's see what else Spirit would like you to know. All right, so for our Tauruses, what else would you like them to know in these relationships, these changes? Okay, they do want that one. What else? Okay. Anything else? Okay. I do want these two. So you do have these three, which we'll put here. Let me just make a little more space. Okay, well, we're going to start with this one because this one is a good card. The Sun card is one of the most rewarding or successful, vibrant cards in the deck. Definitely the top 5. And it also, though, is reflecting on your inner child and your relationship with your inner child, which I kind of feel is kind of what's going on here with some of this here. Because what we have going on here, we have the inner child work going on here, which it does show that this will be for you and shining light into areas of your life for you on purpose. Because you have the Eight of Wands here, which is about a lot of energy that you're investing in your life. You do get a lot of messages, a lot of energetic movement because of this reflection that you've been going through with this Pluto. But the Six of Pentacles is what I call the codependency awareness card. And the reason why I feel like these are coming in together here is because codependency, like especially you are most likely the enabler in a codependent relationship. I'm a recovering enabler, so I understand. You have this belief that started in your childhood about your worth and that you're not worth anything if you're not able to give something to someone. And we fear receiving from others because what happens is that when we receive, we feel like we're on the opposite end. And if we're receiving, that means they don't need us and they're just going to go somewhere else and abandon us for other people because they'll find someone that can give them things. And so we're afraid to receive, and we're always in a position of not allowing them to give to us. And so we enter a relationship like adult to adult, but it quickly switches to adult child. And we're the adult, and we treat them like a child, baby, mama bird, daddy bird, feeding the baby bird, not allowing baby bird to give to us, only us giving to them. So we give and we give and we give until we're exhausted, and then we continue to give and give and give until we're resentful. And that's where we end up normally. And then, of course, baby bird wants to give, and if we won't let it give to us, then it'll give somewhere else. Either workaholic and invest in their work, or working out, or with their friends, or a hobby, or an affair. And so that's what happens in these codependent relationships, because it doesn't feel good for them not to be able to give, but we teach them not to give to us out of our fears. So you're understanding this worth about yourself and who you really are. And what replaces that, what transforms this, is when you stop looking for who you are, who you think you have to be for other people, and you get this inner child. You start looking at what's going on the inside. You become this place of unconditional love for yourself, and then you fill up and you allow people to give to you, but you don't need it anymore. You don't fear it, and you don't feel the need to have to give in order to be someone, because you develop this love for yourself on the inside where you don't feel like you have to give in order to be worthy. You just are like, I am worthy of love. I have all the love I need right now from inside of me. Everything else outside of me is just extra, above and beyond. It doesn't create the paradigms that you had before. Let's take a look here and see what this one is here. Yeah, you have the Page of Cups. So here's that unconditional love from above I was talking about. Page of Cups, moving to a new higher level of love. That chalice is the unconditional love of the creator of all things. It's the Holy Grail, the chalice that is full of that beautiful living water. So that is exactly the source that changes everything for you and allows you to become one. I kind of feel like this in the beginning was like you're becoming one with yourself. So when it's talking about two halves, your human side and your higher self side become one, making you feel like a whole. And then you find another whole person. That's when you can have this beautiful relationship, because you're not looking to each other to fulfill you and make me whole. You're already whole, and everything you give is above and beyond extra, which is amazing, right? Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, you have the Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups masters her emotions, of course. Cups are the emotions. And not only is she rule over water, which is the cup suit, all the queens are given another portion of water. So she's two pieces of water, 2 cups water. And that also allows her to connect to her intuition, to her gut, to the higher realms, very much like the high priestess, where you are able to step away into your high temple, connect to the higher realms, to your unconscious, your subconscious, to your inner child, and do a lot of that shadow work and understand where all these beliefs came from and all that energy that you were investing to try to maintain that. You now have come back to you because you're no longer investing so much trying to get that love from the outside. And then you have the Five of Wands. Fives are transformation or just the number of change. And Wands is your drive, your ambition, your inspiration, your passion, just your overall energy. And the Five of Wands is about moving your energy from a place of fear before to a place of unconditional love. Think of like, I usually have a kung fu movie that plays because there's usually 5 people with 5 wands or staves and they're all battling one another. So it's like a movie starts right in the beginning and they're battling and like, oh my gosh, what's going on? They're trying to kill one another. And eventually it gets down to where one person is standing, the other 4 are laying on the ground. And you think, oh my God, is he going to kill them all? And then they all start laughing. And you're like, what is going on? And then they help each other up and they all walk back down the path, back to the monastery to have a meal together in the meal hall. And you're like, wait a minute. So these are not people who are trying to kill one another out of fear, well, that fear energy. These are individuals who care about one another. And they were helping each other train to improve their skills out of love for one another. So you see this change of energy from being one of fear and conflict to this harmony and helping one another and of love instead. And so that's what's coming through here with all of this transformation as you look deeper into understanding this higher love, connecting and understanding what happened to the little child that had this belief about its worth. And the love, unconditional love of above, is what is the answer to that dilemma or that little mystery. And then the last card we'll pull here is from the Art of Manifestation Oracle. And we'll just see what the final message that the Creator has for all you Tauruses. All right, so for our Taurians, our Tauruses, okay, they want this one right here. And you've done nothing wrong. Beautiful. So don't judge yourself for all this. Experience this on purpose, for a purpose, right? It says, whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. And that's the same thing with all of us. When we have certain thoughts and beliefs, we cannot help but act in certain ways. When we get to the bottom of it and we look at what we're thinking and doing, and we understand it, then we can move forward and do things differently. But as long as we still have the same beliefs and the same understandings, we'll continue the same patterns and continue to act in the same way. So I love this freedom that is coming from this all, and that you are, instead of feeling like you're torn in two, you're really coming back together as one within yourself. And then together you walk hand in hand with your shadow, your human self, and your higher self. And you're able to then find someone else who is a lot like those same lines, and you're able just to freely give the overflow of love to one another, seeing it as extra, not being so desperate to have each other complete you. You're already complete, and you're just having this wonderful experience together instead. Now, if you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign and a few other types of videos throughout the month. And if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get a notification immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up by clicking the like button, and then also by clicking the subscribe button, you're given access to the notification bell. When you go in there, there is an option for all. If you click on there, you'll be notified of any new videos that do come out on my channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the Zen love, and it also helps my channel grow in significant ways, because when you like or share one of my videos, comment on one of my videos, subscribe to my channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so giddy happy it does want to share the videos of this channel automatically with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, please know I am very, very grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and my recorded personal readings are actually on a sliding price scale, which means for each of the individual type of readings, you can choose a price point between 3, and that way you can choose one that's in more alignment with your budget at the time. So a little bit of flexibility there. If you're interested in any of that, it's all listed down in the description box of this video below. All right, Taurians, as you go through this amazing joining together, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. We'll be talking very soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.